It's like, motherfucker, got him again.
Not today, Smurf. Not today. Like, what? Just
We're not giving you a flawless start.
See, if I do this, they can't tell that I'm not dressed up underneath.
Oh, it's true. You
That's
just
good.
look like
Yeah, like a
like a
boxer
TSM
who's waiting
fanboy.
to fight. He looked like Little Mac if he were straight when he wore hoodies.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
going for.
No, I think he's nailed it. He doesn't need to be straight.
Little Mac can do whatever the fuck he wants because that dude can box. You know.
If anyone can go up against King Hippo and come back,
Why does
That's
this
style.
like seriously though? Why is this not working?
Probably because we're white.
Yeah.
Dude, my hood.
Can you hear through that thick hood?
I can. It's just like it like brings this stuff like in close, and then it like feels weird on my neck.
What is the thing that I always do that makes it work? I always go through this every episode. And I never remember what I do to make it work.
Can you guys see my all sore?
It's some setting.
Got it.
Do you see this?
Okay.
What is it? So that we can remind you next
I
time.
minimized Discord and then
You reopen it?
Yeah. Well,
Crazy.
Didn't shut it
Who would've
off. I
thunk
just
it?
minimized it, and then popped it back up.
Perfect.
Yep. That's how it's. I guess I should.
Did you
stop
try turning
slouching.
it
I'm
off
barely
and
in
turning
the
it back
scroll.
on?
Did you try shaking it? Sometimes that helps.
Did you try looking away and looking back at it?
Okay. All right. 3, 2, 1. Let's podcast. Hey everybody! Welcome to League of Legends Anonymous episode. What the fuck episode is this? 226. 226. It is me, your host, Wise Papa Smurf, here because no one else would. And I had to do QuickBooks. I'm still dressed up in my like attorney garb. This is actually never mind. I just thought these two guys were gonna dress up. They said they were, and now I came over dressed to the party. So, yeah, dick move. Anyways, speaking of those two dicks, with me are Astros. What's up, Astros?
Still, sad boy as always.
Sweet. And also Danger Penguin. What's up, Danger?
I am doing good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. I just thought that we would bring the two most renowned and popular podcasters on this week, so that way, we can build the hype of like what is an all-star mega episode. Because you guys heard, right, that we got reviews for like Brad and Ponderous, and they're like, what a good group of guys those guys are. They're hilarious. And I thought, now, it can't be their personalities. It has to be that they were just paired with me that week. So if I'm going to do a dry run here where I bring on you guys, and if people like you, then, only lowest common denominator is this guy.
I thought it was more of an ebb and flow thing. Like, okay, really great podcasters. Now you bring it down a notch, and then next time you have them, everyone's like, "Oh, I remember how good this used to be."
Like we have a nice podcast, and then they have one that's like little sultry jazz music. Slow it down, bring it in.
One for the ladies,
We have one for our 5 lady viewers out there. They don't get enough attention,
It's true.
So yeah.
One's
Anyways,
my mom.
yeah. Well, then your reviews should be better.
Well, she's pretty critical of them, so it makes sense.
She's one of those hypercritical. She would do this like soccer games as a kid, like, "You're not running fast enough. Get your head out of your ass, Astros." So,
And that's what creates a sad boy.
says the crazy sad boy.
That's-
So, Astros had a milestone this week. He got his first bit of individualized podcast review from the fan base, the public. It's rare. I was talking about this the other day. It's rare that I play the game and somebody's like, "Are you Wise Pop Smurf, like from LOLA?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that's me. Awesome. Fan of the show. That's super cool." Like, that doesn't happen to me very often. I mean, people just either, just don't know, or the show's maybe not that popular, or just, not widespread. I don't know. Well, I don't mean like it's not that popular, like it sucks. I just mean like it's a niche thing with like a niche group that listen and whatever. Like not a lot of people listen to League of Legends podcasts. It's, a niche thing, and we've got people that love us and support us, and that's fantastic. But it's not like, hey, you're the guy from The Dive. Or like, hey, aren't you Riot Kobe? No, it's not like that.
I get that a lot, but
yeah, I could see that. Actually, it'd be more like, hey, aren't you Elimination?
that would be more accurate.
Do you have your notebook?
A little closer. So
I'll take it, man. I'll take it.
That doesn't happen very often. But not Ponderous, Astros, who's been on the podcast for just a wee little bit of time, has managed to get his first in-game sighting. And so tell us the story, man. What happened?
I don't want to talk about it. I got flamed, so I ran it down.
So Astros is playing, and they're like, hey, are you Astros from LOLA Podcast? And he's like, yeah, that's me. Do you like the show? The guy's like, yeah, you're not very good on it.
This is bullying. I hope you know that.
Yeah, he bullied you. You're right.
He did bully you. This is just a factual
Reopening
recap
No,
of the
you're reopening the wounds.
This isn't bullying. This is journalism. It's totally different. I'm just
Purely
recounting
reporting.
the events for the public so they know what happened. You see. So it says he sucks in game, and it's like I hardly ever get recognized. Like I hardly ever get recognized, but somebody recognized him just for the purpose of being like, you suck dick. So I can't. Like I heard about this like not 5-10 minutes ago. I was like, oh, we're bringing that up. So Wade,
I'm gonna start making fake email accounts and writing in just to re-bump my ego.
We got an email from Astros Self-Esteem, and it says, Astros is great. His mom thinks he is handsome and sucks at soccer.
What do you mean? I played soccer for like 3 years.
Yeah, until your mom couldn't take it anymore and signed you up for hockey instead.
Well, that was my choice.
Yeah, that's what she said.
Showed you.
Yeah, I chose hockey. Mom bought the skates. It was cool. So, I don't know, man. Like, you should Ponderous. His were like so bad, like his reviews, and whenever he started the League of Legends radio, they're like, you have this young kid who just screeches at you about hating everything and like blah 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 blah. Maybe that was my review of him. I don't remember. but no, I mean, it's you're gonna be one of those like polarizing figures that people are gonna love or they're gonna hate. You wouldn't believe how much hate I have gotten, like shitloads of hate. And I always thought it was funny, like, you're gonna write into a show. This was before I like ran it, It was like I was just the guy. It was like me, Sam, and Ernie, and they would write in. They'd be like, "I really like Sam and Ernie. They're great people. Why is Papa Smurf's a fucking dick?" I'm like, what? I'm not even like. Why is he so mean to Ernie? I'm like, what the fuck? Like Ernie says weird shit constantly. Like this is our relationship. But no, I used to get that shit all the time. Danger. I don't know that you're ever gonna get a negative review. But we'll wait.
I'm just like vanilla. No one
I'm gonna
really
write it.
likes me, but no one really hates me. So I just ride that middle ground.
Yeah. I like your elimination with hair on the podcast.
Yeah.
He's very vanilla.
He's very boring. See,
Yeah, see, like Lemonation was always like the second worst support for the season. So I could take that second worst support in the LCS.
Well, there you go. Aim high, friend.
do you have a notebook? You have to write down how to end so you know every
the fucking
game.
stars, Penguin.
No, shoot for the lowest possible rung, and if you achieve it, well, then you've succeeded.
So I did want to read. We got some YouTube reviews, our YouTube video
God.
comments, And
I
it
don't know if I
says-
can handle anymore.
It says, Kill Zill looks like a child molester.
What a useful comment.
Tycho is a hot ticket. That hairstyle is happening.
That's definitely his own account.
Yeah, there's no one else in the world who would have said that.
Yeah, it's a fella named Stu's Replay wrote those things in. And yeah, so that was from the last video. So you're not alone, Astros. At least the world doesn't think you look like a child molester. So
But you're no hot ticket.
Of course, you weren't like live on the last podcast, so we may get some comments.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back and look at the
Like,
ones I've been in and
Does
see if there's
anybody on
any.
the Lola
comment.
podcast not look like a child molester? Like,
I better not be me. It can't be me or Ponders. We're barely over 18.
yeah. So
Oh my god, I see the thumbnail for the last one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wait, from a month ago.
You're not really good at finding the most
That's
recent.
the ugliest hair. Wait, or was it his hat? I can't tell. Maybe I'm just
Tycho.
toxic.
I feel like this has devolved. So
We've lost target.
So we had some plans of what we're gonna do, and then I'm gonna wrap it out with a nice motivational speech to hit all masses. So here we go. You guys, you guys had something you wanted to talk about. See, I renamed this particular episode to set expectations appropriately. The low energy poop cast, because I feel like if we start there, we can only go up, and if we don't go up, then everybody knew what to expect. Because we
Did
really
you guys
didn't,
poop today?
I don't remember. No, I had to because I used the bidet at my office.
What
So-
about you, Danger?
I don't think this is a good direction for our podcast.
Danger, he never poops.
Yep. It's
Yeah.
just a waste of time. I got things
I
to
got-
do.
I got shit to do, but not literally. But everything else to do. But yeah, man. So yeah, no. The reason it sticks out is because I think that bidet at the office was inappropriately installed, and the water pressure on it is like a power washer, right on your brown eye. So if you go any more than just barely turning it on, you will literally stand up.
At least you know you're clean.
It'll just whoosh you up to your feet. And you're like, Jesus Christ. Plus, the water is like not heated in that one because I didn't want to spend the money for heated ones. And the pipes that go behind the toilet, like, I had to install insulation on the back wall to keep those pipes from freezing because that shit gets so cold. Right? So it's like,
It's a nice cool release.
yeah, a nice cool sleet on your brown eye. You know? So,
You haven't lived until you tried it.
yeah, it's, you know how those people like to go, like, polar bear swimming or whatever, where they jump in
The
freezing
polar
water?
plunge?
Yeah. You go swim with no, it's not swimming with the polar bears, it's swimming with the dolphins.
We just jump in freezing
Yeah,
water.
you just
That's
jump in
it.
freezing
Yeah, that's all
water.
it
It's
is,
like
yeah.
Polar bear club or whatever. It's like that, but for your butthole.
This
Keeps
is
you
the
alive.
5-star topics that we tackle here
Well,
on
you
Lola.
know, I figure we've completely covered corn, so we haven't touched
Well,
on...
corn doesn't digest,
We haven't
so it
touched
comes
on-
out the other
yeah,
end.
we
we
haven't
haven't talked
touched
about the
on-
full cycle, have we?
No, we haven't even covered frostbite buttholes until today. So, yeah,
We're hitting them all.
hitting it all, covering all bases. So, you guys wanted to talk some about rolls. Kind of stopped paying attention because I was digesting my McDonald's, but it all sounded great. So let's talk about that. Astros, go.
Well, they don't like me, so I should probably just keep my mouth shut,
and
right?
that right there is why. Have some confidence, bitch. Get in there.
I forget who said it, but they were wondering like what made everyone choose their roles, and like
Mark Twain.
There you go. Now you know who said it.
That's the one who said it. Oh, I'm sorry, Samuel Clemens. He didn't say that.
names aren't even close. How do you mix them up?
Well, no, he didn't say that in a book. It was just a personal question, so it would come from Sam Clemens.
Same guy.
Same
Different.
guy.
I don't read, so I don't know.
We can tell.
Like ever? Like,
It's
never
just not my
learned.
thing.
Useless skill. I didn't read. Danger doesn't poop. It's a weird. weird group we got today. This is why we're B teaming it. The other guy's poop and read. You know, it's a low bar, but here we are. So you want to talk about fucking something? You were talking about it earlier. It sounded great. Go.
He wants to
That
talk
was
about
one of them.
the roles that we play, how we found both our mains, I guess, and how we ended up at our roles.
Okay.
So,
well, you mean like okay, so go ahead. Somebody go first.
Yeah, so for instance, I started in like season 2, back in the good old days, where you would log in and you'd start queuing up, and then you would enter a lobby, and everyone would type as fast as they can. Mid. Oh, okay. ADC. Oh, okay. And then no one would ever choose support, right? It was just this miserable state.
I thought you were going to say, and I typed really slow.
No, my computer was bad, right? So mine would load up, and I'd already see all these called positions. And
Blame the computer.
You could absolutely lose games before you ever started because people would say, like, I'm mid, I'm picking first, fuck you. And then everyone else would get mad, and then they'd pick a mid, and then you'd have two people wander mid and feed and fuck around. So what I tried to do was mediate the situations. I would always say Phil because I knew what I was getting. It was gonna be support. But then I'd be like, okay, you know, like he can go mid. You want to play Zed? Go ahead, go Zed top. No one gives a shit. You know, like all this other stuff, right? So that's how I ended at support. It was forced by my bad computer and my pleasant personality.
That makes some sense. I understand that.
And then I ended up really liking the role because you could do a lot more from support than I think a lot of people thought you could. And as time has gone by, support's gotten more and more powerful. So that's been good to live through.
So I want to do a quick PSA. If you guys didn't know, if you're Twitch primers or whatever, there is a League of Legends reward on Twitch Prime right now that you can get for. So don't forget to do that. You just go on Twitch and then claim it, and it's all yours, and you get to keep it, which I'm trying to do now, which is actually, in hindsight, probably coming through the audio. So since it's coming through the audio anyway, let's open it.
Might as well explain.
Yeah, no, let's open it and find out what I got.
Also, drop that Twitch Prime sub on my Twitch, like Danger did. You get a really cool emote.
God damn it, Danger! Support the podcast.
I didn't even know what I was doing. Don't worry,
clicked,
next month I'm definitely gonna cancel Astros and join.
I clicked
LOLA.
accidentally.
I didn't know what the hell it was. I'm too
ironically
old to figure this shit
this
out.
podcast. Okay, so I
have my own podcast.
Okay, so you get a random permanent skin. It looks like I just got Frostfire Annie, which I've already got, so super. But Frostfire Annie. You get award skin, which I got the Dragon Slayer Poro award, which I already own. So let's re-roll that into award skin permanent. And I got the Wipeout Pingu award.
Ooh, that's a good one. I use that one.
All right. And then I got a summoner icon that I also already own. Come on, guys. There's got to be like a way. I don't have all the summoner icons. I mean... Yeah, that was kind of a bust.
It's pretty good for free, though.
But hey, it was free, so I got 3 things for free, and I had enough to wind out to get the Pingu award. So that was fun. So all right, thanks, Riot. Appreciate you. And yeah, Twitch. So if you got it, go get it. But it do. Okay.
Blake, how did you end up a support main?
How did I end up as a support main? Okay. So, back in the day when I was on the Sarcastic Summoners podcast, the worst podcast ever made.
Even worse than this one.
Oh my god, yeah. It was run by a guy who was even more obnoxious than the guy who runs this one, according to reviews.
Bullshit.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying according to reviews. Like
reviews don't mean shit, they're not accurate.
On the bar. But, yeah, old Ivan of Mog was the guy that used to run that. So anyway... yeah, I was on that podcast with Sam for a while. We started this one, and on that podcast, I was actually the ADC guy. Like, I talked about ADC because that's what I played. I played ADC, and I really liked ADC, and I thought it was super fun. And the more I played, the more I'm like, God, there are like no supports who know what the fuck they're doing. Right? Like they just stand there way behind me. It's not that hard. I feel like if somebody was just good at this role or tried to learn it, because that was back whenever support was literally you were a stack of wards and then you did abilities with whatever your base damage was. And that was it. Like, and you had no hit points no matter what champion you were made out of glass because all your money went to wards.
Every
And
dime.
and you were just fucked. I mean, like you may pick up item, maybe two, maybe, but then people are like, "You're not wording enough." So it was pretty rough back then, and yeah, I was like, God, I wish somebody would just want to play this role, so that way I could succeed as ADC. I was like, well, maybe I just don't understand it. Maybe that's what it is. So I started playing support, and then I just went, nope. I know, I understand it. This shit is not hard to be good at. And so I started playing support because, like, back then it was like season 3 or 4. You know, it was before there was a ton of information out on like all the stuff that everybody's come to be able to consume as like how to get better at League information, like LOLA podcast. Before all that existed, you just like you tried to pick up stuff and learn stuff and like pressure and stuff like that, and it didn't like people just really didn't do it. Like the standard for gameplay was so much lower, right? Like somebody who was in gold then would be like a silver 5, 4 now, maybe. I mean, it was that kind of a rapid difference. And I can't speak to plat or gold because I don't know what it. I mean, anything higher than can't speak to gold or not gold, plat or diamond. I didn't play with plats and diamonds. I didn't know any at the time, right? So couldn't really say like what the difference in skill was, but it was at least a full tier in like the middle of the ladder then to now, at least. So like what it took to kind of get by in League was so much lower, and the skills needed to climb were so much less that I kind of hit a pretty good modicum of success there. And then, like, I started playing it. I kind of liked the fact that it wasn't, I didn't have to, like, break my fingers mechanically to make the game work. And I liked the impact I was having out of support at the time. Like, I played laning phase well, I had a lot of wards, I did all the stuff I was supposed to do, felt good. And I was like, fine, I'm just going to keep this shit, find an ADC to play with, and go from there. And, like, then I kind of got stuck in it. But, you know, that's how I got into it. Like, I didn't just type slow or have a shitty computer. It was a frustration.
It was a choice.
Well, no, it was frustration is what it was. Like, I was like, I'm not going to sit by and watch everybody around me fail at this fucking role. I'm just going to do it. You know? Because, I mean, being an ADC, like, I think it is, this is going to probably draw a lot of hate. I think ADC is actually the easiest role to play passively. Right? Like, because it's not, you don't have to play to, like, not lose. You don't have to play with your brain, really. Like, you just have to be like, danger, and try not to die as long as possible. And if you do that, you may not lose your team the game, which is what I mean by playing passively. You may not carry. I'm not saying it's the easiest role to carry with. It is not. What I'm saying is it's the easiest role to not, like, I don't know, lose elo with. Right?
Right, you're saying still be effective even with
Yes.
not excellent play.
Right.
So like you can do damage later in the game even if you haven't farmed great or if you're not, like engaging often or hasn't created any lane pressure. You can still
Well, I
affect
mean,
the game
keep in
later.
mind, there's a huge difference between a shit ADC and a good one.
Oh, for sure.
What I'm saying is, if you are more likely to, like, as an ADC, if you have no impact on the game, it's not a lot different than playing ADC. All right, you know what I mean? Like, because even all right, ADCs get blown up at the beginning of team fights still in plat and diamond, right? Like, if they're not super tight on their positioning, the difference between a 0 or let's say a 1 and 4 Caitlyn is not a whole lot of difference from like a 4 and 3 Caitlyn, right? Because they die in the first half second of the team fight. So if that, you know what I mean? Like, you can be an okay ADC and have like the same or roughly the same input as an ADC who's kind of meh. And it's easy to be a meh ADC with like, you don't have to like fully understand or comprehend how to do a 2v2 lane or how to get ahead. You just kind of have to CS all right, stay in it, and then whatever, right? And just put out damage in the end game. Whatever, you know, and that's fine. But ADC is also one that has like super high ceiling and you can take off with the game. It's just that that's much harder to do. So you see people climb with ADC playing like a lot of games and just grinding and being okay, right? And a lot of people thought that's kind of what support is, right? Like, I hear a lot of people say that, like, oh, support, it's, you know, it's easy, or it's, you don't have to be very good to play support. And I think that's partially true. Like, Danger, what do you think of that? I mean, you play support. Do you think that's true?
Yeah, I think you can be a passable support, and I think most people can play a safe defensive support as long as they know like they're supposed to peel, right? So you can not be a great engager, but as long as you know, okay, when someone comes in, I'm supposed to do something about it. I think that that's a fair statement. I think a lot of our listeners always, I see a lot of like messages in the Discord saying, you know, like, how can I carry from support, right? Like, I'm being held back by my team, you know, the usual, and I'm playing support, so I can't carry unless I'm, say, playing. I've seen the question recently, like, unless I'm playing Zyra, right, or unless I'm playing, you know, like a damage doer and I can carry late game. I disagree with that statement, even though I'm a Zyra player, but I didn't climb to plat playing Zyra originally. I played a lot of Alistair. I played a lot of, I'd say a decent amount of Thresh, but I played some other roles where it's not all like the big hook or anything. It's just about knowing your role, and you're like, oh, well, my ADC sucks. He's always out of position. I was like, well, you can protect him then, right? You can protect that ADC. So I think you can climb if you're a good support and you know what your role is. I think that it is fair to say, though, that if you go support and you choose one of like the known quantities, like an Alistair, a Leona, or something like that, and you just do what they're supposed to do, I think you'll be passable in the game. Like Leona, charge, right? Alistair, you can play either way, but I think it's easier to play an Alistair as a peel, right? They come in, you pop them up, you push someone away. I think it's as long as you know your direction and what you're trying to do, I think that support can be an easier role. I do see supports all the time, like wander into the jungle, try and ward, die. You have to know, like if you want to climb with support, you need to know like when, okay, I see that their jungle's top, I see mid is still mid, now I can wander in there, right? So I think if you want to climb, you have to start paying attention to a lot of the little things. But I think that's a fair statement to say.
Well, okay, so here's, and I mean, this is kind of like that whole Reddit thread that's always up. Like, is it better to have a shit support and a good ADC, or a good support and a shit ADC? And I mean, the reality of it is, I think if you have a shit support, you bury two players.
Right, because it doesn't matter how good your ADC is, he's still going to get
he's still going to be behind. and then he'll have to come back in the late game anyway, and he'll probably be relevant in the late game, even if he just like CS's some. You know what I mean? Like you're still going to do damage. So if you have a good ADC, that's something that you can come back from. Well, other way around. If you have a good support, okay, let me start over. If you have a good ADC, the ADC is always going to be relevant, but it's hard to get and crest into relevant damage in terms of I have the ability to turn a team fight unless you get some fortunate kills or unless the team starts funneling you resources. And in low elos, they don't do that. Everybody just goes mid and then steals whatever minions come down the pipe, right? So it's hard as a good ADC to come back into the game, and you don't have an opportunity in the early game because your support doesn't create lane pressure if they're bad. I mean, if they're just paste eaters, right? They don't create any pressure, so you don't have an opportunity to CS. You have to lose minions to tower, or you're doing all that crap. So you're going to be, or you die to double kills left and right because bad support or whatever, right? So you're going to be way, way, way behind in lane. And then you either need to eat a solo lane or you need to be funneled resources somewhere else to be relevant. And unless your team is willing to do that or not die while you do that, it's hard to get back in the game. Other end, right? You have a bad ADC in your support. You can roam. You can join a jungler. You can do a ton of other like map pressure plays. And you know, you just count your lane as lost. You're not as attached to your lane as every other role is. You know what I mean? Like ADCs can't leave. They have to have the resources out of that lane. You don't. So that frees you up to be effective in tandem with other roles. Right? Is it optimal? No. But you could still do it and put somebody else way the hell ahead. You know?
Yeah.
So I think that that question answers itself in a weird way, right? But like to the original point, I think like the floor is a lot lower for ADCs than it is for support because and just like what I was saying is bad supports kill both people in bot lane. You know, bad supports, your ADC doesn't get ahead because you're the one that's supposed to be creating the opportunity to get ahead, either by catches or pressure or damage or whatever the hell it is you're providing to help your partner get ahead. If you suck, you're not doing that, right? So they don't get ahead, they don't excel, they don't get extra resources, they flounder, right? So yeah, I think it's easier to be a bad ADC and float through elos than it is to be a bad support and float through elos. But I think both of those roles are the two that you can get through with the lowest skill relative to your rank. Right? Like, I think, and this is me as, well, I guess formerly Diamond, because I'm not there yet this season. This is me as a plat 4 support. As a Diamond support player, I've seen like mids and Diamond jungles and Diamond tops are better than the Diamond bot lanes. I mean, they just are. Like, they're better players overall. It takes more to get there, right? But at the same time, a truly good support or an ADC can impact the game a shitload. So it's kind of hard to, like quantify that. But yeah, I would say bot lane's probably the lowest threshold, both in the bot lane, but ADC by I think a pretty fair margin. Because I've got, god damn, I've had some paste eater ADCs in low diamond. I mean, real bad. Like, don't do basic things. Like, level 2, nah. Don't worry about it.
I got a CS to get, bro.
We'll just let them get those minions. I'm going to hang out here and huff some of this spray paint. You know, it's shit like that you like. You just go, how the fuck did you get here? You know what I mean? Like, but support. I mean, typically the supports are alright. They're of a level. The good ones are better. You know, but the difference in other roles like jungle, mid, top, like those seem to be like the skill divides seem pretty tight everywhere else. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
I
I
feel
can
like
see that.
feel like I've
No, no, no.
rambled a lot, but I've never really hit it what I want to say. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I think jungle is a great example of something that you have to have, like, to me, a great knowledge of the game. You got to know jungle pathing, how to track, when you can.
Hold on.
I'm
Asterisk,
talking
put
about
that
good
fucking
jungles.
finger down. You don't point at yourself during this. We don't do that. Anyway, go on. Go on.
Yeah, but like you need to know how to track. You need to know when to engage. You need to keep your eyes on mid and top. Who's pushing? Who's not? Can I go for the scuttle crab right now? Okay, my top's pushed. They should be able to, rotate around. To me, jungle is like the essence of trying to manipulate the whole map at the same time. So I agree. Like when you get a good jungler, you often see in games like better jungle wins, right? Their jungle's 4-0, yours is 0-4. It's really hard to come back in that game, even if you're laning well. But let's say all three lanes are laning well, but that jungle's coming in the lanes. He's affecting map pressure. To me, I agree. I think that bot, you can cover up for your mistakes, I think, a little bit easier. And jungle, to me, is the top, and then with mid and top around. And it depends on what meta you're in, granted. Because top tank meta, okay, well, a lot of people can play tank meta at a pretty high rate, right? You just have to know how to team fight. You need to know how to CS with your big mitts. So it depends on the meta. I'd say for top, when you have carry tops, then yes, there's a large skill threshold there. But I understand what you're saying. Hopefully our listeners do as well.
No, they won't. I'll get angry emails.
I'm not
about
getting
this
the bad reviews this episode.
Yeah,
This
no.
is great.
I get all those emails right away. But
I
no.
think jungle is actually like you need the strongest mental to play it, which is why I only lasted a season. But
Actually,
like
the
you
last time I
definitely
played with you, you only lasted about 17 minutes. So, I don't know.
I mean, I was right. We lost. We could have saved the extra 7
Yeah.
minutes that we spent in it. Top laners.
Go on.
But like you actually have to like be able to think so proactively about the game when you play jungle because you have to track. So in a lane, you have to track yourself. In like a solo lane, it's yourself, your jungler, the enemy jungler, and then maybe the mid laner for roams. But you don't have to like watch that 24/7 just because roaming's like not super efficient now. Bot lane, it's your ADC, them, their ADC, jungle. But jungle, you have to watch every role, and you have to be able to like think ahead of like what jungler you're playing against, what his pathing gonna be like, what ganks he's gonna be looking for based on lane matchups. When is he gonna be looking to do that stuff? Like, it requires so much brain effort that it actually just makes you like a toxic dumb player.
Do you think that kind of stuff leads to 14-day bans?
I've heard that there's a direct link between those two things.
Okay, so I don't like to promote toxicity in the show, but I want to take a moment to talk about what these fucking videos you linked me are. Please do a brief intro of what the fuck you sent me before the podcast.
So I sent him a Stevens Jax video. He's like a challenger player. He's like
Mentally
pretty
ill.
good. He's mentally insane. But like thanks, Dad. But there was an
cameo there from your dad. What did he say? I heard you're welcome.
He said, yeah, you are when I said mentally insane.
You're getting flamed by your own dad.
Astro's getting it from everywhere.
No, they're like, it was like
Keep
L9.
talking, and then I hear his dad be like, "You're a bitch." Like, in the background.
Wouldn't put it past them, to be honest.
Go
Right,
on.
John?
Astros,
Okay.
cool kid, calling him John. First name
Oh,
basis. This is
Me and my dad,
roommate.
we're pretty cool. We're pretty cool.
It's just one of my roommates. I feel like the kid from
El-
Grandma's Boy.
Jesus Christ. L9, it's like a really like toxic group. They're known for like inting and stuff, and people ban out their one tricks and stuff. And I sent him like a video of Cat Stevens, and he's just psychotic.
So, okay, I'm watching this video, and the guy's like, he's just saying shit in chat, like, how would it feel? And I'm like, okay, what's he gonna say? How does it feel? What? Like, where does he go from here? And oh no, the other guy says to him, like, God, how does it feel to like have like this crazy inter on my team? He's on my int list, blah blah blah. And the guy responds by, how does it feel for you? And this is, I'm gonna say it like it's typed because it came in 3 words at a time, like Ponderous does. Like Ponderous never like types a sentence and then hits enter. He types like,
Well, I don't either.
will I dot enter, don't enter, think so enter, and I'm like,
Well, you have to make
I don't
them
think
think.
so, and then hit enter. Like I get that you're typing a sentence right now. Just type it and hit enter. God damn millennials.
Prolongs
Damn
the
kids.
flame. It's really it's effective
Kids these
strategy.
days,
I don't even know what
overusing
fucking
the enter
sentences
button.
are.
Structure your shit. Anyway, so he's like, how does it feel for you to have your whole family die in a single room at the same time by a bomb? And then I'll take the pieces of your family and make them into a soup out of your mom's fingers. And I'm like, Jesus fuck. Like that took every time it paused, it took a turn for the worse. Every single time. I'm like, how are you typing this and still playing League of Legends? Like, I've been there with Ponderous when he was flaming that 14 death Draven in the jungle. Like, I was there for that. That dude was actually inting. And Ponderous is like, goes off on him. But he didn't write anything near finger family soup. Like, that wasn't even close. You're not even on the same planet of flaming. Like, that was...
Oh yeah, the guy who wrote my bad review, he's on my int list now. He's done for.
Is that you have one
Yeah.
of those? That's good.
Yeah.
Good mental
He's
health.
the only one on it, but
So,
I think that should have
Typo.
been the name of the episode, Finger Mom Soup.
Finger Mom Soup is probably better than Low Energy Poop Cast. But, I feel like a little bit of branding is appropriate. But give the people a little taste of the Finger Mom Soup. Mom Finger Soup. Finger Mom Soup is
That's a lot
totally different. Totally different. Different type of soup. Anyway, he says this. What was the other thing that I read to you that he said? That I was like, oh
About
my
his arms?
God. No, that was just mental illness. No, okay, so he also said he cuts his arms to make himself feel alive because he's so dead inside that he can only feel pain, and thus pain makes him horny. Like, this is... keep in mind, I didn't say it right because it was more like, I cut myself because I am so dead inside that only pain makes me feel horny. Like, because it's, written in the stupid
this is what I do for entertainment. I have to watch people that get more mad at video games than me.
Oh, that's a good point. It makes yourself feel somewhat normal.
See, you know how Zill looks at me and he's like, when I'm tilting, he's like, well, at least I'm not that guy. I look at like those people and it's like, oh, at least I'm not that guy.
That's how all of society works.
That
It's
guy
all right.
has like 2 face tattoos, and it's like, that's never a good look outside of prison.
I'm gonna get one. It's gonna
You
be
get a
sick.
face tattoo. You should get
I'm
like
gonna
a
put Lola on my
6'9".
eyelid.
That worked out well for that guy.
Yikes. Well, he has more than one, so I mean, as long as I get one, I think I'm fine.
No, you gotta get one more.
Any
than
level of
that.
face tattoo, you've gone too far.
Yeah, like the Tyson. He only had one. Didn't work
Yeah, and
out.
it's not
So I
a
guess I can't even like talk about why I chose my main because I've literally played every role.
right. It's tough to choose a main when you switch every season.
Well, I played support for my first 3 seasons, so fuck you. But that was just
Okay.
because when I first started the game, I was the 5th one in the friend group, and yeah, it was just what was left over because they were already like level 30s.
And so
Half of
once you
them were
lost your
diamond.
4 other friends, you decided, okay, I can play any role I want now.
He
And it only
lost-
took you
Well,
3
no,
years to lose those
no,
4
No,
friends.
I
no,
found
that was like
Thresh.
level
I love
5.
Thresh. Like I have this. That's Thresh. And I like loved him, so I just played him for like 3 seasons. I'm like, all right, dude. I got stuck like gold 1 like 2 seasons in a row, and I was like, my jungler's an idiot. So then I went and I played jungle, and I hit plat. So
Fucking
and
A.
now
So
I
your
play
Thresh
mid.
is just gold 1 level.
I mean, I'm the best Thresh in LOLA. So I mean,
Yeah, all right.
I'm insane on the I have more mastery score than you. You're irrelevant to me.
Let's do a 1-on-1 Thresh match.
Oh.
I'll do it. I don't want to hurt his feelings, but I mean, Ponderous has told me that my Thresh is clean.
Hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's on video. It's on my plays.tv.
He actually keeps it
after
playing on
underscore.
repeat
Yeah,
as he's playing the
that's
game to
That's the intro
remember,
video.
remember, you're good. You're good. Ponderous thinks you're
Oh
good.
my god, your thresh is clean. Oh my god, your thresh is clean.
It's
on
his
repeat?
ringtone.
Oh, it's his ringtone.
My ringtone is my alarm clock. It's pretty great.
Huh,
I love
that's
it.
fair.
And now I play mid because, like I said earlier, I can only handle like the mental destruction that jungle put on me for 1 season, and I didn't want to go back to support. And like, I don't know, I like playing Yasuo, so. But now I don't get to play him because he got buffed.
Yasuo hovers around a like 60% ban rate in Plat Plus. So.
Yeah,
You hover.
You specialize in champions that have like stupidly high ban rates, though. That's kind of your thing.
What do you mean? I played Kha'Zix and Kayn most of last season.
Kha'Zix was so good last year.
Ban list.
He
At
was
the end,
so
at the
good.
end of the
Then
season,
you
he was
wanted
so
to play
good. I played him
Zoe.
before that.
Then you wanted to play a
When did I want to play
Zoe?
Zoe?
You wanted
Yeah.
to play
I don't wanna play
Zoe for a
Zoe.
while. There was a time period.
No.
I could
I
swear.
just told you to
Just,
try to support
just
me.
last
It was
night you
fun.
were having fun with Zoe.
Having fun in ARAM, picking up 4 summoner spells in a row and running away while killing them with my W was fun.
Yeah, Akali, whenever she was super busted, you were all about the
Yep.
Akali pick. Remember that?
I do.
Yeah,
You're
but
like a
I
little-
dropped it because you guys just like perma-banned it, so I never got to learn
Yeah,
it.
I
So I was
banned it
like,
because
whatever.
every
You're welcome.
time you're like, "Oh, we got first pick, we'll get Akali," and then somehow we don't get Akali every time.
That's not my
and it
fault.
gets
That's
serious.
not my fault.
Yeah, because I left the champion open because of you. It's your fault that I didn't ban it. Therefore, it's your fucking fault.
You can't blame me.
The
I didn't
champion
go to
never
your
would
house
have
and hold a
seen the
gun
light
to
of
your
day.
head and was like, if you ban this champion, you're done for.
It felt like it.
Because when I first started playing with Zill and I was playing Yasuo, he banned me out.
So
Yeah.
all right, we're at 48
will do that.
minutes. I think I'm going to deliver. As speaking of feelings, so we got a lot of feedback on the solo episode, and people were saying, "Wow, I'm really hyped for ranked. Thanks." And I got more feedback that was like, "I wish I was motivated to play ranked. You know, I just don't know. I'm just not feeling it. Blah 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 blah." So I thought, I've got an idea. I'll motivate people to play ranked, right? But then I thought, well, that's not going to work because if I just, motivate people like in a dire method, then that's going to shut some people down. They're not ready to hear that, right? So maybe I should be supportive. And then I was like, well, then some people aren't going to resonate with that. So let's just do both. So I figured I would try this as a brief, motivating speech for everybody, alternating. So if part of this speech doesn't work for you, just wait. It'll come around, right? So here we go. Season, what is this, 9?
9.
Yeah? All right, season 9, motivational speech. And you guys can feel free to jump in at any point.
Well, Ponderous gave me a very good motivational speech before the start of the season, so I'll come in after.
Yeah, all right. All right. It's season 9, man. You can do this. You're a pro. You're a hero. You might be like the best one of your friends. There's no way that you're silver because you're better than that. You know, you just need to get out there. You need to play. You need to show everybody that you're a goddamn hero, you silly bitch. You get your ass out there and you play the fucking game because you suck ass and you're not going to get any better unless you get your ass out there and you find that fucking elo. So go! Go now! Stop being a puss! Go! Fight! Hard! Win! Now! Hey, that was aggressive. We're going to slow it back down. Because, you know, I don't want to put you off. I don't want you to feel feelings that make you uncomfortable. That would be bad. That wouldn't put you in a winning state of mind, and you're a winner. So, you know, I want you to relax and, you know, put in the, you know, jazz music there, mellow out, and, you know, be a huge failure. Because you need to get the fuck out there and climb that fucking ladder, son, or else you're never gonna get it done. Nobody's gonna love you. The women ain't gonna be knocking on your door. They love the challenger dick. So get it done. Climb the ladder. Don't be a bitch. And then also for the ladies. Hey, ladies, you're doing great. Thanks for playing League. If you want to climb sometime, you know, do that. Play by yourself, show everybody you got skills, or just find a guy who's like way better and willing to carry you for it. Astros is waving his hand right now. That's probably false advertising. You can do better. You know, you're a gamer chick. Everybody loves those. Just, you know, maybe don't play Jana. It feeds a stereotype that I don't think we want to perpetuate around here. You're a big, strong
Lulu,
lady.
or Soraka.
Yeah, you don't need any of those. You're a big, strong lady. You go out and you win with, like, Riven. Show the boys you got it. And good luck out there. I hope that people don't sexually harass you constantly. Because I know they will. And I'm sorry you have to put up with that. That's unfair. But you just climb. All right. All right. I think I've hit all the demographics. You guys, do you want to add anything? You good?
What's Ponderous' speech for you, Astros?
Ponderous.
It's ponderous.
So I was joking.
Hold on, I got it. Okay, here's a ponderous sea lion speech. Get it? Because he's muted and banned.
I get it now.
Yeah.
Did you explain your joke?
Yeah, it was good. It was a good speech. It was really good before it was muted because he ran out of chat messages.
Well, you could say that, I mean, it's also, he gave the speech on Reddit, but it instantly got taken down by the admins because he has that problem too.
No, that
I feel
was
like he
me.
just stopped using
I'm the
words.
guy that gets instantaneously Reddit banned. That was me.
I think he got something banned off Reddit too.
Oh, really? Because mine was for like
believe so.
second, like self-promotion. No, it wasn't even that. It was, what was it? I broke
I
something.
don't
It was
know, you were
self-promotion.
complaining
It was
about
for
it,
it was
weren't you?
for Lola or something like that because you linked it to.
Oh,
We were complaining
right, 'cause I
about it,
linked
lol.
to the Discord or whatever, and
Yep.
then somebody looked at that, and I didn't even ask for an upvote, and they're like, "No, brigading," and I'm like, "I got one upvote."
And it was sarcastic.
This is
And it
not
was himself.
brigading. So anyway, go
That's
on.
what Ponderous tell
what
you.
was Ponderous'
So I was like joking around. I was like, I don't even know what I'm gonna do next season. I'm just gonna play Phil and see what happens. He's like, Astros, why don't you just get off your ass, get good, and hit diamond this season? I was like, you know what, Dad? You're right.
But
And that
then
was- that
you
was the
proceeded
speech.
to be sad.
They proceeded to play Phil.
Well, the speech isn't gonna stop me from being a mess. It just makes me play the game more, which makes me more of a mess. It's like,
It's a vicious cycle.
it's rough sometimes, dude.
No, I'll tell
Would
you,
not
like,
recommend.
I was talking to somebody about this the other day, and you know, this is something that, like, and this is not me trying to pick on you. You just kind of segued into it.
Hey, you're definitely
Segued
trying to
into
pick on
your
me.
own being
It's-
picked
it's
on.
Yeah,
alright.
you walked into my fist. Is what happened. No, like it seems weird, and League is like the one of the only games I've ever experienced that has this issue. That like literally mental toughness is an enormous factor in the outcome of the game.
I got plenty of that.
Well, like never say die attitude. I don't think of, Astros never say die attitude. He goes out there and he gives it 100 till it's over. The Nexus explodes and he's still doing jumping jacks. Like, no, that's not you. That's like, you're not that guy. Like, squat thrusts. Let's go. But no,
If the game's over, I want to get on to the next one so I can get my LP back.
Well, no, but I mean, it's just weird because like mental toughness is a thing, and like think about
Oh
other
yeah, for sure.
think about other competitive games like StarCraft or like shooters. I mean, I guess you can go off the deep end in a shooter and just like start taking stupid, dangerous risks, but it doesn't feel like nothing captures the feeling of like MOBA failure. You
Oh,
know
for
what I
sure.
mean? Like
Every game.
particularly League, because like I played HOTS. HOTS didn't feel like that. Of course, HOTS just feels terrible all the time. But like, it didn't feel like I didn't get that same level of like, oh my god, I just want to get up. No, I'm just gonna give up this game. No, I'm gonna play through. I need to focus. I need to blah blah blah. Like, that's present in that game. It's not really all that present. I mean, you can get tilted on like Call of Duty or something. That's true, but like not anywhere to the same extent.
Nothing tilts you like a MOBA.
Yeah, it's so weird. I don't know why that is. It just because the game is 30 minutes long?
I think the thing that tilts people is twofold, and it all has to do with teammates. One, when you are getting beat bad, your teammates get mad at you, and then you defend yourself, but you know you're losing, so you get pissed off, and that tilts you. And two, your teammates getting beat bad, and they're losing the game for you, and that tilts you. And I think it all comes down to, I think it really boils down to that. It's a hyper-competitive environment, just like a sport, right? So you're playing hockey, and your goalie is just shit. They get in, they get 4 shots and they get 4 goals, and you're like, fuck you, like, because you're in a competitive environment. And so much like League, when you're in ranked and you're trying to win, and you say, hey top, can you slow down, can you just farm under the turret? And they're like, fuck you, and then they go in for that 6th death, and you're just like,
okay, hold on,
it can just tilt you.
I've got a story I want to throw back to my
I got one too.
So you want to do yours first?
I mean, it just keeps up with the hockey analogy. So I coach
mine's
ice hockey.
Mine's a baseball story, so this will be good.
Well, I mean, baseball's a boring sport anyway.
Yeah.
So we'll start with the excitement. So it was last weekend. We drove an hour and 40 minutes to Jersey for a game. Right? We're playing this team. We're going into the 3rd period. It's like 7-1. They have 12 shots. Our goalie let in 7 of them. And like the morale going into the 3rd period was at an all-time low. Like horrible. And we didn't have our second goalie because usually we have 2, so we couldn't pull him out and switch them.
Well, yeah, and like
I mean,
hockey,
we ended
it's
up
not like soccer where you just whip off a penny and then go back there. Like you have to have equipment and shit, right? Like
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean,
wild,
expensive fucking equipment.
1, it's expensive, and 2, you can't just throw anyone in goal and expect them to be able to just flop around and block the big ball because the puck's this big and it's flying like 3 times faster than a soccer ball.
Okay.
So
you're stuck.
I mean, and that like but like every time you get the like little advantage, like the morale like starts to rise, but those little advantages in like a MOBA like League, they don't mean as much as like getting that extra goal on the board in hockey or like any sport. Like getting the point comeback, like closing a game and losing by less in an actual sport doesn't feel as bad as losing by less in a MOBA.
No, that makes a lot of sense.
Like I used to
I'm
play
surprised,
like,
but it does.
I used to play competitive, like semi-competitive COD, do like tournaments for, the Xbox points, the Microsoft points. Like losing hard or losing by a little, like losing by a little always felt a little worse, but like it was never like it was when I get smashed in League.
Uh-oh. Astros is cutting out.
I'm back.
Okay. So, okay. I'll tell my story now. This will be good. So, I was in baseball as a kid. We played Little League or whatever. I was like 12, and that was the cutoff. So like at 13, you went up to the higher league or whatever. So this, and I didn't really want to play at the higher league. So this was it. This was the time I was going to win the championship of Little League baseball in Cassville, Missouri. We were going to do it, right? And
It's
we
the
had
highest level I've ever heard of.
Yeah, we had a pretty good team too. So it was like, yeah,
Stacked roster.
yeah. I mean, we were doing good. We were playing, and it was like the semifinals. I mean, it wasn't the championship game or anything. It was the semifinals, and we had this kid on our team who's like that weird kid who like eats grasshoppers in the field, like. You know what I mean? Like the one that's not there to play baseball, but his parents want
Yeah,
to
you just throw him in left field and
yeah, and you just hope
tell him to
nothing
sit
goes
there and
down
do what he.
next
Yeah,
to
yeah,
him,
yeah.
right?
You
And
tell your center fielder to hug that side.
right. And so his parents had been complaining because the coaches kept sending him out, you know, you're in left field, dude. Like, try not to eat the
Fall
grass.
asleep.
You know, like, just chill and you'll be fine and ball probably won't come to you. And his dad got up between innings and was like yelling at the coach. He's been out in left field all damn season. He needs to play. He needs to play. I want to see him play. His grandpa's here for the first time, and he's been in the hospital. And like guilt tripping the shit out of the coach. And he's like, okay, what do you want him to play? I'll play him wherever. And he's like, put him in shortstop. And everybody went, no. No, don't put him in shortstop. That's important. And we're going to lose this fucking game, and it's the
I
semifinals.
mean, any position in the diamond is important.
Well, particularly shortstop. Like,
Shortstop.
That's where you put the guy who's going to do all the fielding. And this guy's like, which glove does the baseball have? He's Ralph Wiggum. He's the Ralph
He's
Wiggum
got two
of the
gloves
team.
on in the field.
You know, which glove do I catch it with? Like, where did you even get the second glove? So anyway,
You ate my Wookiee.
yeah. Did you get the ball, Ralph? I eated the purple berries. It tastes like burning. Anyway, so it was like that, and we're all like, oh God, no. Like, this is the semis. Like, it's 3-3. If you put him in, they're going to hit it there. And he's not going to get it, and we're going to fucking lose this game. And this is our time. You know, like, we care about this. And the coach was like, it's all right, guys. It's only going to be for one inning, right? And we're like, fuck. All right. So I'm pitching. I throw this ball, and I thought it was going to be really good. And this kid just, like, all meat of the bat hits the ball, like, hard. And it, like, whizzes. Like, you know how you hit, like, a line drive and it makes that whistle kind of sound, right? It does that. And it hits the shortstop right in the chest. He's standing like this.
With his two gloves.
Dangling off to the head. He goes, boom, thud. And he just goes, and falls down. And we all kind of looked over, and I'm like, oh shit. And I run over and I go grab the ball and I throw it. And everyone's like, are you okay? And he's like, I can't play. And we're like, that may be for the best. We're going to get you out of here. But, I mean, that's what, you know, we ended up winning the game and he didn't play anymore because he actually got hurt. But
You purposely injured him. We understand.
Yeah, I threw a pitch.
You threw a lob ball knowing they would hit it right at him.
Hit it at that kid. It was like, what was that fucking movie? That 80s movie.
Rookie of the Year.
Yes, where the kid broke his arm and then he throws the loft ball at the end of the game. And it's like,
Yep, it was you, Ma. It was you.
yeah. Throw it underhand, Jimmy. Okay. He's throwing junk out there. But anyway, no, it was like that. He goes down and we're all like, oh, thank God. But you don't get out of that stuff in baseball. You know what I mean? Or in league. Like, you can't be like, hey, kid who can't catch and is now playing shortstop, you need to take a bench. You know, we're going to swap you out for somebody else. Like,
Yeah, I'm gonna get this Challenger Kha'Zix one trick instead of my Plat 3 a negative win rate E player. Can't
Yeah,
do that.
yeah. Just swap them in.
Bogus.
But I mean, I also feel like a lot of the frustrations with the game are things that like, and I'm not trying to, I don't want to open up this can of worms completely, but I think there have been some game design choices that have caused the game to be more frustrating to play. Right?
I think it can be difficult for people to adjust, right? So like when
Yeah. Okay.
so
I mean, that's fair. That's
on one hand, like it's nice that the game stays fresh and they're always trying to improve. We'll say, obviously, everyone who listens to us knows some of our feelings on some of their improvements, but
Right.
they're trying to keep it fresh and rotate people in and out of the meta so that there's, you can see different characters and shit like that.
So I mean, shit like turret plates and plants and stuff like that. Those are all good, fresh changes to exactly support what it is you're talking about. So,
Yep.
like that kind of stuff is great. It's the other ones that we've harped on in the past that stuff like that, like hardcore changes in game direction, can make the player base frustrated, and then okay. I'm gonna throw, I guess, partially myself under the bus, but like that kind of stuff gets exaggerated by poor plays, right? Like that feeling or that mentality. Like I make a poor play, and then all of a sudden, like those issues that I have with game design take over, or like I give up 1,000 gold bounty or something, right? And what would have been a frustrating death is now a ridiculously frustrating death. You know what I mean? And so that kind of impacts your mental. And like I said, it's weird because only League is like that. Like, I don't feel that way in StarCraft. I don't feel that way in other games. But, like, and I think part of it is design, and part of it is game length, and part of it is team play, and that all of that stuff is required. And I think the solo carry mentality of it. Like the game used to be very solo play intensive. You know what I mean? Like if you were a X and O Riven, like X number and no deaths Riven, you could literally take over the game, kill everybody, and end it.
Yep.
Like that was not a problem for you. Not a big deal. But now that doesn't really happen. Like the snowballing has been reduced to a degree that, and I think partially they actually mentioned that it was done with the idea to cut frustration of losing a snowballed game from someone else, right? Like,
right.
My top laner lost so bad that now the game's over and that's frustrating, right? But, I don't know what part of the game is more frustrating, the fact that you can't snowball or that someone else did on you, or the fact that I have somebody who is snowballed but the game won't resolve quickly because they can't resolve it quickly.
It's a difficult balance to strike because like
yeah.
You're saying, you can get frustrated by both.
Well, I mean, here's one. My kid hates taking medicine because he's 5, right? And like that Benadryl shit tastes terrible, right? Or even better, I got that Theraflu stuff because he got the flu and he has to take a pill and he can't take pills. So I had to like break it in half and drop the powder in some stuff. And the powder tastes so bad. I mean, it was so bad. And the stuff he said when he was taking it was really funny. But like, he's talking about how awful it is. And I did what the doctor told me to do. I took half the pill and I mixed it into a bowl of applesauce. And I gave him the bowl of applesauce. I'm like, here, eat this applesauce. And he took, like, every time he took a bite, he's like, this applesauce tastes terrible. It tastes like bad apple medicine. And I'm like, well, I'm sorry, buddy. Here, let me add more applesauce to it, and I'll dilute it, and then it won't taste so bad. And then he's like, now I just have a lot of bad applesauce. And I'm like, well, shit. I'm sorry. I'm trying. It's not working. So then he ate so much applesauce and medicine that he almost immediately threw it all back up. And I was like, well, I'm going to try this again. So I took all of that I took
I haven't learned anything from my
Well,
friends.
no. I tried again. So I took a spoon and I just poured all the other half of the pill into the spoon, and I gave it to him, and he ate it, and he goes, "Oh, that was super gross." I go, "Yeah, but it's over." And he's like, "Yeah, okay." And then that was cool. Like we did that. I would rather take a spoonful of ass kicking than I would eat a bowl of it.
You don't want the diluted ass kicking that
No,
lasts
I mean,
38 minutes.
maybe it's just that you can't. Like, I don't like the idea of like quitting the game any earlier, right? Like, that's not where I fit on the margin because I don't like that. I don't like the feeling that my team could just surrender at 10 minutes because there's no. The game should never be over in 10 minutes. I mean, I guess there have been games where I'm like, Jesus, this is real bad. But I mean, in the 99%, the game should not be over in 10 minutes, right? But I also, there's a fine line there that I don't think we've hit. And I think what we've done is we've said, well, I don't want you to get ass blasted so hard for so long. So I'm going to eliminate the person's ability to ass blast you, right? Rather than I'm going to end this. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're doing what I did. You're diluting the applesauce, right? Don't. Just make it one bitter spoonful and I can come back after. You know, I can drink some Gatorade or something. I'll be all right.
It's like the high pressure bidet, you know?
Yeah, dude,
Do you want
seriously
it?
though, I've got to fix that thing. I don't know what I did. I'm the one that installed it. That was the other part that I neglected to mention is I'm the one that installed it. But I think like there's a gasket, and I think the gasket may have like pinched shut the thing because it's like you put your thumb over the end of a hose, right?
Hmm.
And then you stick it up someone's ass.
Well, no, like I could turn on. Like I got one for my house, and then I was like, "Yeah, this is cool. I'm gonna get one for the office. That'll be fun," you know. So
It's
I got
nothing
one
I
for my
love
house,
doing at work more than having
and
my butt
it's like,
sprayed.
so for the stream viewers, the one at my house goes like this, right? Like,
It's like an arch.
yeah, it shoots out a little kind of maybe 15-degree arch, and then your butt's right here, and the front of the toilet's like right here. So it'll go like out the front of the toilet if you're not sitting on it, but it'll clear the top of the seat by a couple inches, right? Like, whoop, over and out, right? That's cool.
No sound effects, please.
Because your butt's there. So that's cool, right? The one at my office, I turned it on to show my employees how it works. It shot out the toilet, out the door, and hit the ceiling. There was a wet spot on my fucking ceiling in the hallway where bidet
Explaining
water
that to customers. What? I think you got a leak in your ceiling. Nah, that's the bidet, dude.
Nah, man,
That
stand
thing
back,
is
though.
vicious.
Don't stand up until you're done. You'll get blasted out of your seat. But yeah, man, I don't know. Like the water pressure's super high, and I can't figure out how to fix that. So we're just letting it go. I tried like turning off the valve to the toilet, but then the bowl feels so slow. You don't want that. You want to take like 25 years to fill the bowl. So I don't know. Something I did's wrong though, because that thing like takes off like a fucking rocket. You know those like rockets when you were a kid? You'd stand them on the thing and you'd fill it up with water and you'd step on it a bunch and it would shoot it up like a hydroponics rocket.
I couldn't afford those ones. I just had the normal like air pump ones where you like hit like the little inflated thing and it goes like 5 feet in the air and you're like, wow.
Yeah,
Because you're like
This
5.
was like that, except it was just like a jug of water.
I don't have that
That's
lawyer
sad.
money. I don't have that lawyer
I
money.
didn't have
Blake,
that
I'm
lawyer
sorry.
money when I was 5, dude. I had a
Ah,
fucking
yeah, you did.
jug of water with fins on it. It's not expensive, Astros.
I didn't have anything that cool,
It was
dude.
like a 2-liter bottle. That was like the vast majority of the parts, and then you just
Dude,
pumped
my mom was
water
You
too
in.
can
busy
only
yelling
afford
at
the
me to-
20 ounces.
Yeah,
I was
Astros.
too busy getting yelled at to move my ass in soccer, so
It's like all the components of a cheap bong. You know, it's not expensive.
are
can
you
figure it
implying
out.
that I smoke marijuana?
No, I'm implying that your parents
You're a lawyer.
probably used all of it for bongs because they had to wipe out the memory of having a kid that sucked so bad at soccer. Whatever.
Wow.
It's all good.
That was pretty good too.
Yeah.
He could have been something.
I hear your dad in the
I mean, I was
background.
better at hockey.
He
But
wasn't very good.
I think he went to bed.
He was shit. Astros is the kid on my baseball team that wore 2 gloves. Except that he wasn't born. When
No,
that
I
kid
played
was in
first
his
base when
prime.
I played baseball. Asshole.
All right, so we'll wrap it up there. We've gone a while. I hope you guys got, I don't know, something out of that. I thought it was a-
If you have any ideas on how to fix the bidet, please let us know. That's the
Yeah,
only
how do
emails
you-
we want right now.
And by the way, it's bidet. Like,
Sorry, I don't have this rich lawyer money to buy.
Yeah, it's
bidets.
French, asshole, for cleaning your asshole. So, anywho,
Maybe if I get one, I'll hit diamond.
yeah. Well, if you don't have to worry about the cleanliness of your ass. So, okay, so real quick, seriously though, it's way better. Like I'm all in on it. It's way better. Like, why wouldn't you use water to clean your butt? Why wouldn't you do that? You know, for every other part of the body. You're
But
like,
doesn't
yeah,
it spray the water
soap and
from
water.
the bowl?
No, it has like a
Separate shoot.
So it has like a missile,
Great.
like a missile silo, where whenever you turn the water on, it comes down and then shoots out. So like the internal parts of it, and then bloop, right out, right? So the internal parts you can't even pee on if you wanted to. Right? So even if I peed on the outside, that's just the casing for the part that comes down and shoots water out.
Wait, it comes down and shoots water out?
Yeah, it's like little like tube, and it has like a head.
I'm going to need you to uninstall it and hold it up so I understand what the hell you're talking about.
If I had enough extension cord, it's literally right over there. I would show you, but it's like a tube that has a mechanism in it, and when the water pressure goes, like you turn it on, it pushes it down, and then the water comes out.
So do you flush and then use the bidet and then flush again?
No, man, you're sitting down. You've shit. You can flush, I suppose, if you really want to, but
Well, I don't-
say
I do-
bidet. Just do that for me. Say bidet.
Bidet?
Don't do it.
Thank
Boudet.
you. Hey, you use the bidet? No, I do not.
Sorry, he doesn't have that lawyer money. He could
Yeah,
afford the
he
French
doesn't have it.
dictionary.
Oh,
Hey, remember, I don't
oh,
read.
Bobby Boucher, never Willie Boudet. Like, you Louisiana fucking alligator farming piece of shit. Just say bidet. They would say it now. Okay, anyway.
I went and tried the boudet.
I went and tried the boudet on the Friday.
You can never go back to just wiping after trying the boudet.
Well, no, I mean, like, seriously, though. Use soap and water everywhere else. Just use it there. It makes sense. Like, at least water. But, like, the
Do you
dirtiest-
dry it after?
Yeah. That's what the toilet paper's for.
He's not a monster.
Yeah.
He doesn't just pull up his pants with a wet.
Oh, God. Yeah, you use that. It's just instead of, like...
Well, I don't know how, like,
wiping-
wet you get. Like, how accurate is it? Like, does it, like, splash and then it's
Yeah,
like
I
you
mean,
got, like,
no,
a
it's-
whole wet butt?
All right.
Or is
see,
it, like,
it
you know,
depends.
just in, like
So,
an inch radius
the-
around it?
the
Like,
one
I don't
I've
know
got-
how it works, all right?
the
I'm
one
trying
I've
to
got
learn.
has, like, 2 settings. It's, like, power wash beam, right? So...
Blastoids use hydro pump, and then Squirtle use bubble beam. Is that ballparked?
Sure.
He's trying to remember his Pokemon days.
No, I'm trying. I didn't play Pokemon. I was that okay. So when I was a kid, it was before
my-
Pokemon actually got cool. It was when people would be like, "Ah, you're playing Pokemon."
It wasn't cool when I played it either. You think I gave a shit?
No, I mean, but
I don't think
it was
Pokemon
like,
became cool until like a couple
Okay,
years
it
ago
was
when the
a-
old
it was
people
a
who
thing-
played Pokemon became cool.
Okay, so it was a thing that had a stigma, just like Power Rangers.
That you were a loser? That stigma still existed when I was a kid.
Okay.
I'm half your age.
Yeah, that's true. So, anyway, yes. So there's a spritz that's like, ka-chow, and then there's like a general kind of anus.
So
A
there's like
mist.
it's like a normal pee, and then when you're like rushing it and you like
Well, I'll just
force
put
it
this
out.
way. There are two pictures. One picture has a stream of water going into an M-shaped butt crack, and then the other picture has like 5 sprays hitting kind of a butt crack. So the idea is
So there's an
that,
accurate. So there's like aim down sights and hip fire.
yeah, spray and pray. There's aim down sights and spray and pray is where you're at. And so if you turn on the one, it just kind of spritzes your whole ass, and if you turn on the other, it very much point of impact. And if you're at my office and you turn it on point of impact, and you're on actually fuck, if you turn it on either one, it's point of impact at my office. You just fly out. It's uncomfortably powerful. So don't. I literally feel like I should put a sign up that says like, "Hey, just click once or this will hurt."
Rinse with caution.
Yeah, like I don't want to turn you all off of this.
May
right
cause
away.
internal bleeding.
Yeah, like I'm pretty sure you would just. I don't know. I'm trying to think of a stream of, like, if you went to the car wash, you know that gun that you use to wash the side of your car. It pretty much shoots about like that. Like it's pretty intense. But anyway, so yeah, the mechanism: you shoot, you blast all the poop off, then you just kind of pat dry, and you're done. And that's pretty much it. There's no like, you don't rely on the paper for cleanliness. You rely on the paper for just getting the dryness.
Dryness.
Yeah.
Does that mean you don't have to buy like the nice toilet paper now? You can
No,
buy the
you
cheaper
buy the
stuff.
nice toilet paper anyway because you treat yourself because you only have to use 2 squares. Why wouldn't you? Get something that has some absorbency. Don't cheap out on single ply. That's a bad experience.
Well, I didn't say single ply. I'm not talking about like, those the brown paper towels that they have in bathrooms.
Okay, we're
that
ending the
literally are
podcast
useless.
right now. This is people are probably hating us right now. This is why
But
you
Twitch
get
chat is
negative
loving
reviews.
it. They literally said great content, super relatable.
Yeah.
Super relatable.
Super relatable. That is totally not facetious at all. So, all right. With that, we'll say good night, everybody. Wash your buttholes.
Good night, holy shit.